So welcoming you guys to the show tonight. Tugenda kwa tutunulide mental health. Mbadde mbagamba nti omwezi ogwa May gumanyikiddwa nnyo nga omwezi ogwa mental health awareness. Abangi kuffe twerabira nnyo okulabirira our mental health. Alright? Emirundi mingi abantu baplaninga ne bakola ebintu bingi. Era abantu balina routines babeeramu, naye emirundi egisinga weesanga nti abantu beerabidde nnyo okufa ku mental health yaabwe. Mental health kintu kikulu nnyo. Engeri obwongo bwo, endowooza yo n'embeera yo gy'obeeramu kintu kikulu nnyo. So many people by ignoring ekintu kye bayita mental health, and this is actually very common kubanga abantu bagamba nti nze ndi busy, ndikola ndi busy nnyo, nyina emirimu 5, nyina emirimu 4, siina budde bwefaako mentally, nze nyina financial issues, nze nyina relationship issues, nze emirimu ginstressinga, I have stress, nyina stress y'abaana, nyina stress ya family. So netwesanga mu space nti ebintu bingi ebituleetera mental health issues, naye nga many times we actually ignore some of these things. Okitegeera? So olunaku lw'olwaleero tugenda kwogerako ku bintu bino. Olunaku lw'olwaleero tugenda kufokasingako nnyo lwaki kyalibadde kya buvunaanyizibwa, lwaki kyalibadde kya nkizo nnyo okwefaako embeera yo ey'endowooza yo, ey'obwongo bwo n'embeera yo eya bulijjo mu birowoozo. Lwaki kyalibadde kirungi okwefaako ennyo? So nsanyusa obbalaba mwenna, welcome to the show. Leero tugenda kwogera ku ekyo. Okitegeera, tugenda kwogera ku mental health. Era bw'oba oyagala okumanya nti mental health is actually very important. Soft voice tonight. There are things that we keep ignoring, but all the time they actually decide, or they are very key to who we become, how we behave, and what we do with ourselves. Tonight, I want to interest you in a very interesting conversation. This conversation we're about to have is personal. This conversation we're about to have is between you and your conscience. It's between you and your personality. It's between you and your challenges. It's between you and the things you go through every single day. When you talk about mental health, it's not publicized. The people struggling with these things do not have a number plate. They don't have markings. You understand? They don't have nothing. They will not come and tell you. You will not look at them and you get to know. Mental health is such a very easy yet sophisticated kind of subject. It's a sophisticated thing that it requires acceptance. It requires inner deeper reflection. And this is what I want to talk to you today about. A lot of people ignore mental health. Like I said, mental health is not an argument. It's not a conversation to argue about. It's got nothing to do with I'm black, I'm white, I'm Caucasian, I'm this. Everybody has their mental challenges, and we all go through some of these things every single day. What we're about to discuss is something that if you accept, it's gonna be in your heart. Yeah, it's gonna be in your heart. It's not about you, man. It's not about your neighbor. It's not about the person that is watching right now. It's a conversation that you need deep in you. And this is what we're going to talk about tonight. Some of us have so many things that we struggle with on a daily, including and not limited to employment challenges, including settlement, adaptation of environment. So many people move to new areas and they just can't adapt. So many people are going to new workplaces and it is hell on earth. You understand why sometimes it's so painful. It's so painful to go through certain things in life. And this is what we're going to talk about today. The conversation is not in any way being forced on anyone. The conversation we're going to have is a conversation that you need to understand deeply, kimoyomoyo. When I say kimoyomoyo, I mean deeply from the soul. And this is the conversation we're going to have. Trust me, and I want you to know that May is a mental health awareness month. And one of the reasons we're here is we want to open up. There was a report that came out before I play the songs. There was a report that came out in Uganda, and I'm talking about Uganda. I know statistics has it that 27% every year, 27% of the population in Canada and Europe somewhere somehow experience mental health issues. Mental health illness, mental health breakdowns are actually very, very rampant. And this has nothing to do with your skin color. It's got nothing to do with where you come from. It's something that happens to everyone in different phases and at different times. So there was a report that came out in Uganda that 14 million people were mentally ill. 14 million people. This report came out after a few months after the lockdown, the second lockdown was eased. This report came out. To my surprise, to this day, there has never been any serious call to action that records that report even in Parliament or by Ministry of Health. Now, this shows you the degree that we are attached to this subject. So many of us, actually, in many circumstances, people try as much as possible to avoid any conversation that talks about mental health. And every time people are talked to about this thing, people think it's a weak point. People think it's a weakness to say, guys, I am stressed. People think it's a weak point for someone to come out and say, guys, I am breaking, I am burning out. I am dying. It's crazy. Like, people feel so much inferiority to come out and say, I am burning out. I have a job, I have a family, but things are burning me out. People feel so much, like it's a kind of weakness for you to actually say there's too much financial stress. There's too much stress coming out of a relationship. A lot of people have even contemplated taking their own lives, And this month of May, what a beautiful moment and a beautiful time for us to discuss this. So, to join me in this discussion, first and foremost, I know a lot of you guys are going to come up here and we're going to have a conversation. Like I said, first, it's a conversation between you and your own self. Because this is a safe space, like I have said before, and do not feel any way inferior to come up and speak about some of these challenges, because this is what people go through every single day. Personally, there are moments when I break down. You break down, and sometimes you have to look out for people to actually bring you back. You have to look out for people to motivate you. I tell you, breakdowns happen to almost every individual. Some people are more resilient than others. Others break down so easily that it takes them years and very many years to recover. So, before I play the song, Chance, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you
I am
doing?
here. I am doing fine. How are you, Changemaker?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm mentally stable.
Okay. Maybe I think
and
the
and
best way to
I'm
ask these
psychologically
questions.
happy. Yeah.
That's good. No, I think
Yeah.
the best way to
So
ask these questions. Can you hear me?
yeah.
The best way to ask these questions right now in this self space is how are you feeling? We're
Yeah.
changing the word from how are you doing to how are you feeling, because in most cases when you ask somebody how you doing, it's gonna be the casual I'm fine and they go on, but they're really holding so much, suppressing so much that they don't. But when you ask how are you feeling, somebody can really be, oh, you really want to know how I feel, so how are you feeling?
I feel great.
That's
I
good.
feel I'm in good shape. I'm in good spirit, you know. And right now I'm in a very good mood to share with the rest of the world. I'm very calm. I'm very calm. Usually when I do these lives, there are some lives where you come and you're all outspoken and the energy is up there. The energy is
Mm-hmm.
up there today, but in a very, very soft and calm manner.
Right.
And this is all because the subject of discussion today is a
Mm-hmm.
subject that needs no rushing, is a subject that requires one to reflect, the inner reflection of individuals, where you get to understand that, hey, I need to be thinking about my well-being. I need to be thinking about, my mental status, my psychological status. How
Mm-hmm.
do I, how do I feel about myself? So this is why the conversation today is going to be very, very polite and very, very straightforward. But before we get started, I promised you that I want to play you two songs. And
Right.
the two songs I want to play you is they are all talking about mental health. One is
Right.
talking about how men struggle to actually deal with everyday happenings around them,
Right.
and no one seems to care because everybody wants a solution. So they don't seem to care how you get the solution, but you must bring a solution on table. And this other one just reminds us that, hey, there is something that you need to be very conscious about. All right. Sinless, how are you doing? I love the hat.
I know.
I love the hat.
Hey,
Yeah.
sinless.
Okay, so let me play these two songs and
Right.
we kickstart deeply into this conversation.
Right.
Njagala kusooka kubuuza if it's very okay.
Mm.
Mental health kitegeeza ki? Mental health, omuntu bw'agamba nti my mental health needs support, aba ategeeza ki Kyanzi, if I could ask in that angle?
Omuntu, according to what I know, is generally speaking from experience, kind of from the experience side of point of view and stuff.
Yeah.
Omuntu agamba nti my mental health yetaga support.
Yeah.
I believe kiba kitegeeza nti they know they're struggling, and the time they come up to say it, baba bazze ku the end
So
of
already I picked
things.
the word struggling, right?
Emotionally,
Okay.
they're struggling with mentally, their
Okay.
their psychological thoughts are struggling.
Okay.
So bakyogera nga they're struggling to the point that most of them are about to say to the bridge, to the end of, things nga wulya kati now are suffocating, so they will vocalize it. About vocalizing in different ways, through actions that are really easy to tease us sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what I understand by that. Omuntu agamba nti no, mental health is not really good. They're struggling emotionally and psychologically.
Already, Dorothy is saying, I think people rarely say their mental health needs support. Yes,
Oh yeah,
that's very true.
yeah.
These are some of the pains people struggle with every single day. Like people go through a lot of emotional breakdowns, a lot of psychological breakdowns, like Chanza said, but very few have the courage to actually come out and speak about it. This is why mental health issues are a very